Hello and welcome back to TED Talks Truth and Reality about why Glenn Beck is almost wrong and Bill O'Reilly is almost right. No two people view the same issue or circumstance from the same perspective or point of view. 99% of the time I agree with most things Glenn says, and 99% of the times I agree with mostly what Bill says. And as I mentioned earlier, Glenn Beck has contributed some inspiring thoughts and moments during my quest to get to this point, and I'm thankful that he has been part of my life. And I've watched Bill O'Reilly nearly every night since 9/11, and I'm more traditional, more in keeping with his views. He played football, I played football. There's a certain respect that you get for competition. He's a historian. I like to pride myself as a historian, just as Glenn does. And he tries to support all his points of view with a historical reference. Now, he warned us of this caliphate. I write about it in Slow Down in Love. Bill has been trying to give a even-keeled perspective. He doesn't lean totally one way, but I think he is more traditional conservative. Glenn might be more conservative, traditional libertarian, if you have to add words and labels to people. But I'm trying to get you to understand that each of us is so unique, so different, so much a collection of personal experiences that no one else can relate to. But I understand Glenn's point of view that in our national security we need to pull back. It almost is like turn our back on the rest of the world, not spend another dime or drop another bomb or waste another human's life. I agree with that. I'm sorry that so many of our brave young men and women have already spent so much of their personal life on this war. And that's the reason why I have such a deep respect for all our veterans who fought in our stead, and especially our wounded warriors who still have to fight that war over and over again in their mind and in their daily physical struggles from whatever injuries they received, physical or mental. I don't quite agree that we should totally isolate ourselves. This is where I begin to differ with Glenn. I think we need to pull back a lot of unnecessary overseas spending that we have spent since World War II, and we should modernize our forces. We should put every effort we can into a Star Wars program. We're the only ones that can do it, and we don't need anyone else to help us. We can do it ourselves. They can join us in later on, but we need to get a vision of excellence once more. We need to add that winning spirit of the young and the brave and the home of the free that once was the cornerstone for our rise as a special country. Now, like I said, Glenn wants to let that thing in the Middle East stew and simmer and come to some conclusion, but that's what got us to this point, is not being visionary and positive enough to accept a program. Our president has dithered away opportunity after opportunity to go after these crazy savages, and he's waited for polls and political correctness to guide him to where we are right now. And this is a terrible place to be at this moment in time. Everything, I mean everything you read, you see, you hear is so depressing. I talked to some people today that there wasn't a good thing they can say about their lives or the world or what's around the bend. They were afraid, and these are people I've known for 20, 30 years, and they all voiced a similar distrust, mistrust of the world corrupting before our eyes. And this is what it is. It's a corruption that breeds from this inner selfism that I've tried to relate to you throughout the course of my earlier discussions. I've tried to get you to understand that it is a physical trait left over from our primitive days, and as we've evolved into a smarter, wiser, more enlightened being, this thing has remained hidden, and it is the root cause of most of our doubts, all of our fears, all of our evils, because it stems from the demons and evil that emanates from a person that's messed up or screwed up. And the best thing we could all do is aspire to be better than we were yesterday. And I was able to discover the answer to this problem, and I wrote 2 volumes, Slow Down and Love, Self-Enlightenment, which was the first 35 years of my life, and the point where I began to realize that, man, you know, if I don't change, no one's going to change me the way I want to be changed. So I accepted the challenge to start looking for self-enlightenment. And volume 2 is called Freedom. And it explains freedom from a perspective that I think everyone could understand. And the whole objective of me writing the 300,000 or 400,000 words, I don't know how many words, it seemed like forever, to get the right words to say just the very simple description of the title, Slow Down and Love. It's simple. It's just gearing your life back a little bit, relaxing a little bit more, taking care of yourself a little bit more, smiling and laughing a little bit more, taking a few deep breaths a little bit more, exercise a little bit more. Do the things that you know you're supposed to do. I don't have to tell you. I'm saying things that smarter, wiser individuals have said before. There's painting, there's poems, there's books, there's movies, there's songs. There are so many things out there that tell you that the power is within you, and the need to unleash that power is within you. And as long as that power is pointed in the right direction, in a good direction, in the positive direction, in the loving direction, and this is the reason I wrote those words. It's hard to come up with right words sometimes to describe something that's right. And I've been trying to do that. Now, Bill, where I disagree with him after that long dissertation, is that he thinks that we need to form an elite group specially designed and equipped to attack these crazy, radical jihadists. I agree with that, but I think it should be an American volunteer special elite group, no holds barred, giving them all the power and control, the equipment, the funding, the weaponry, the advanced weaponry, and allow other countries to join on, but it will always be under the control and guidance of Americans. This is where we're screwing up. We tried to bring other people onto our way of thinking, but they're not here between the Atlantic and the Pacific and between Canada and Mexico. They can't understand the little problems that go on in a little Appalachian, no water, outhouse still living place here in America. most Americans can't. So the thought that others are going to be able to understand us has been our downfall, I guess. And we're afraid to fail, so we appeased and we bent the rules, and we adapted and we changed and we lied and we deceived, and we became a culture of corrupt individuals that were looking out only for themselves. And we can't expect some foreign entity to understand us when we can't. So we need to begin controlling things once again. We need to stop joining in with alliances, even like the United Nations. We had great altruistic beliefs that this was going to be the answer to the world problems, and it's become the most self-centered, selfish group of individuals trying to get back at the great Satan or America because of jealousy, which is a symptom of selfism. We need to just focus on the basic vision that established us as a great nation. That was truth, honesty, transparency, openness from the top down, and now it doesn't exist. Every single layer of our society is governed by fear of what someone else expects of us, and this political correct police force almost, if you understood this, you younger people, just study up on the Gestapo and the SS and the poor East German secret service and the Russian KGB. That is what our IRS and many of the different things are becoming, and it was never meant to be. We need to take it back. Only the voters can do that. I think, getting back to my original statement about Bill is almost right and Glenn is almost wrong, you can see that this is my opinion. I view it from my collective experiences and understandings, and I'm a pretty avid historian, and I'm right up on the politics, and I understand how most of these decisions politicians make now. They forgot the connection to the people, and the people have forgotten the connection to that greater creator that gives you the spiritual truth to do the right thing. And that's how simple this exercise that we're going through right now will become. I will convince you, and I will pound it into your head till you realize that it's just a simple smile and an acknowledgement that you are okay, everyone's okay, no one knows your business better than you, and you just decide to take care of your business, and everything else will seem to take care of itself. And hopefully that hasn't been too lengthy of a session. I didn't want to talk this long, but you know me, once I get rolling it's hard to stop it. I'll pick this up. I'm going to wrap up some things in our next discussion and emphasize more that you have the power within you anytime. You just have to start talking to that inner soul that is part of you, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So until we meet again, thank you and Godspeed.